Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Kevin from Pressure Washing Plays. Right now it's about 12:30, October 17th. To be honest, I haven't really had enough time to make these kind of videos because for the last 2 weeks, all we've been doing is Christmas light setups. Christmas lights, we've done a little bit of pressure washing ads for some states, like in Florida, a lot of major cities over there. But really for the last 2 weeks, we've just been booked with these Christmas light setups. So in this video, not only am I going to show you what your competitors are doing, how we're currently getting leads, and one of our clients that got our 32 ad setup, how he's getting leads. And pretty much I'm going to show you something I never really show people, but how to scale winning ads. Because the thing with Facebook is I talk with a lot of people that launch ads, but the problem is they might have some performing ads, they work for a little bit, but then cost per lead goes through the roof. So you might have a campaign that, at one point is on $10 cost per lead, $15 cost per lead, but then over the span of like a week or two, you go up to like $20, $30 cost per lead, which you don't want to be spending that kind of money on that. So to break things down, what we're doing with these Christmas lights, it's pretty simple. We're just not doing what everyone else is doing. If you go to the Facebook ad library and you search up Christmas light installation, take a look at all your competitors. They're all doing something similar to this. So they might have some before and afters like this, some basic text. Now this is nothing crazy. You can build all of this on Canva. And most of the competitors over here that are launching Christmas light ads, you can assume that they're spending somewhere between $5 to $15 per day. Which if you're doing that with Christmas light ads, you're just not going to get a good ROI. You're not going to get a lot of people opting in, and for the most part, you're going to have a lot of spammy people. They're also not really doing the right kind of objective. So like if we take a look at the campaign over here, the way that we like to set things up is we start the campaign, we do 2 ad sets with 4 ads inside of each ad set. So to break this down, right, with the campaign level, if you've never launched a Facebook ad before, you're going to click this green create button. What most people do is this engagement campaign, but you don't really want to do that unless you're trying to build followers or get likes on your page. This is not going to lead to any money in your bank account. All this is going to do is just, get you some quick wins, some likes, some comments, some shares, but it's not really going to result in any kind of sales. So I only use the engagement campaign if, like, let's say I'm starting with the page that's got 0 followers, that's got pretty much nothing. We're going to start with this, get something that's a little bit viral to boost up the page. But if I'm more focused on conversions, like in this case, we're doing Christmas lights, we're going to be doing the leads objective campaign. Now for this client specifically, if I actually go into the results, so you can see in the last 7 days, he's got an 87% increase in leads. And the thing with Christmas lights is we started these ads all the way back at the beginning of October because we're planning for that mid-November boom. If you're launching ads right now, it's a perfect time. And the reason why it's a perfect time is because people usually buy your services, right? They usually opt into your ad towards the last week of a month or the first week of the next month. Around this time, right now we're in the middle of the month, October 15th. At this point in time, people are usually paying their bills. They're not really looking to buy anything yet because they're catching up with expenses. But you still want to have some ads running because for every person that watches your ad, it typically takes about 7 touch points for them to actually convert. So they have to see your ad 7 times before they finally buy into your service. And you're not going to get any sales if you start marketing your Christmas light installation somewhere around November. By then it's going to be too late. You're going to be outcompeted by clients that I'm working with in your city, and you definitely don't want that. So what we're going to do over here is if we head back for the objective, what you want to do is make sure it's set to instant forms on here. Now you can test out campaign budget optimization versus ad set budget. What campaign budget optimization is, or CBO, is pretty much you give it a daily budget. So in this case, you can put something like this. If you're trying to go really aggressive, you can try to put $100 a day. And I really would recommend it. If you've got an ad spend of, let's say, $3,000 a month for Christmas lights, you should be aiming to make somewhere between, at the minimum, $10,000 a month. That should be the minimum. But obviously, you're looking towards that $30,000 per month goal. And the only way you're going to get to $30,000 per month, let's assume you already know how to do Christmas lights and everything like that, you're going to need to leverage Facebook ads and build up your word of mouth. So that means whenever you get some jobs on here, knock on a couple doors around the area, get some word of mouth, get people to leave you reviews on your Google page, on your Nextdoor page, and really, really push for that. I'm talking about offer them a gift card for a referral, something similar to that. That's a little trick that I've used for some of the clients we're working with to boost up the referrals, but you've got to be doing these tricks if you want to make any kind of money in Christmas lights. And if you're doing yard signs, you might as well quit, right? You're not really going to be able to compete with people that got big budgets on Facebook ads. This is where the money is because this is where it's scalable. So going back to the campaign over here, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, we're doing a campaign setup with 2 ad sets and 4 ads inside. Now, right there, I just wanted to show you how to set up the instant form, but if we actually take a look at the campaign, the targeting is pretty simple. Like a lot of people, they overcomplicate things with Facebook. They think that, the targeting's got to be right. I got to put the interest targeting, the demographics, lookalike audiences, custom audiences. I got to do all this crap. But really, that's not going to do much, because if you have a bad ad, it's just not going to work. You can do all the targeting in the world, but if your ad sucks, if it doesn't perform, you're not going to get any sales. So I like to keep things very basic, right? On this budget, we also implement this budget to avoid bleeding ad spend, because the last thing you want to do is, let's say you do want to go aggressive, you want to spend $100 a day. You don't want to start spending $100 a day on an ad that hasn't been proven yet. So if you drop $100 a day and you keep testing campaigns, the benefit is you're going to find a winning ad really fast, right? You can find one in a couple hours in the first day. But if you're kind of just trying to conserve your budget a little bit and just find what's working, then double down on it, I'd recommend doing something similar to this, where with each campaign, we're starting off at $10 per day. And at the ad set level, each one of these ad sets is spending about $5 per day. So going down over here, the age, pretty basic. We got the age over here. We've got the area as well. And then placements, we just leave them alone. If you guys heard back in, I believe it's in July, Facebook had a new update with the algorithm on the Facebook ads. So now they're kind of leaning towards the AI approach with the algorithm. So it's not so much before, like when you used to have 8 ad sets and 1 million ads in a campaign. You no longer need to do that. You just have a couple ad sets, basic targeting, and rely on your ad, because Facebook is going to target those people for you. Now going down over here, the ad strategy that we do is we just put 4 ads inside of each ad set. And with the 32 ad setup that we have, if you guys are a little bit curious about the offer, we launched 32 Christmas light ads for you. We take care of everything. So we take care of launching the campaign, putting the videos up there, managing it, scaling it, cutting back if it's losing. But you can see over here, just a quick little sneak peek. I'm not going to play the video over here. It's actually got my voice in it, but you can see we've got some clips on there for a Christmas light installation. And if we go down here, there's actually a form for people to opt in. So what happens on this form is when people fill it out, they've got to put in their full name, their email, their phone number, their street address. You've got to have a privacy policy, and then just a standard, ending of the form. So when some people will actually call now over here, but what we do is we set up automation. So whenever someone fills out this form, it actually gets sent straight to your phone. Because the problem with Facebook is that for whatever reason on their instant forms, they actually don't notify you when someone fills it out. So you could have a couple leads that are sitting in there for a couple hours, and you already know if you're not calling them up in the first 5 minutes, they're pretty much dead. So that's why we like to set up that automation, because if you're not following up with the leads, you're not going to make any money, right? The people that are following up in the first 5 minutes, that's going to be the first touch point for the homeowner, and that's going to be the first sale. If you can follow up in 5 minutes, you're going to get the sale. Okay, going back over here, let's actually dive into some of the analytics on the campaign. This is also something I want to break down. I've never mentioned it in any of my videos. When you're looking at the stats in your campaign, what you want to do is hit this columns button at the top and switch it from performance to performance and clicks. Now, what you're looking to find in this data over here is really just the click-through rate, how many clicks you're getting, your cost per lead. And we'll start off with the first one, right? So the click-through rate. Now, industry standard is about 2% click-through rate. So for these ads, they're performing about average, but that's not really too bad, because the thing is, what we're going to be doing is with some of these winning ads, we're going to duplicate them and scale. This is exactly how you beat the competition, and this is exactly how you start getting closer to that $100 per day ad spend. So like, let's say for example, video 2, ad copy 3 over here. This one's doing the best. It's got 2 leads, $6 cost per lead. It hasn't really had enough spent. So if we're going to be duplicating this and trying to get some more out of this ad, all we need to do is click this over here. I always turn off the recommendations, just duplicate it. And then all we're going to do is, as you can see up here, we got the copy. So I might just rename this ad copy 3 V2. And then what we're going to do, the only thing we're going to switch is we're just going to make minor tweaks on the ad copy, right? So you might have to run this through some kind of AI, but you can see this ad copy is a little bit longer. So that's a good sign. That must be people are reading through it. And to kind of break down the ad copy, all it is it's pretty much, there's a good hook, there's some pain points, some benefits, some storytelling. We've got a social proof section with customer testimonials, and then at the bottom is just the call to action. So this gets people to opt in. So all we need to do with this kind of ad copy is we run it through AI, we run a different variation, and I actually might just put this in a different ad set. I'm not going to put this in this ad set because we're not going to be able to scale it. So what I would do is I would just duplicate this, turn these off. So you delete this, delete all the ads, and delete it over here. Now the reason I'm doing this is because I don't want to put the ad spend on my ad set. So a lot of people have this misconception, like when you want to scale up, like let's say this ad set was winning, this is where the winning ad was. A lot of people think, you know what, maybe I should just up the budget on my ad spend. So if you start at $5 per day, maybe I should shoot closer to 20 or 30 bucks if it's getting me a lot of leads. But what you're gonna do once you do that is completely throw off your ad campaign. Facebook is gonna go crazy trying to optimize it. You've made too big of a drastic change, it's actually gonna tank your performance. So when you were getting, let's say $6 cost per lead or $10 cost per lead, if you make a big change like that, it's gonna take your cost per lead closer to like $25, $30, $35 cost per lead. And essentially you just wasted a good campaign. So rather than doing that, just duplicating the ad and increasing the budget, the only thing I should mention is if you are going to increase it, do small increments. So if you're doing $5 per day and it's doing good, after about, let's say like 5-6 days, increase it to $7.50, then go to 10, then $12.50, then 15, then $17.50. Just do those little kind of increments so you're not throwing things off completely. But if you're like me and you just want results fast and you're willing to throw some money on Facebook ads, just duplicate the ad set, put the winning ad in here, and what you're going to do is you're going to create 3 duplicates. So 3 duplicates of this winning ad. You're going to keep the video the same because the video is most likely what's performing, what's getting people's attention, and all you're going to do is run the ad copy through AI, get 3 different variations, and on the ad set level over here, you're going to increase your budget to, let's say, $40 per day. Because it's doing so good, you can put a bigger budget on it, and then from there you do the same exact steps. So at the ad set level over here, you just select your new ad set, you go over to the ad level, and once you're spending $40 per day, just take a look at the performance over here. What you're looking for is your click-through rate. You want a click-through rate that's at least 2%. If it's lower than 2%, just cut it off. But ideally, you know, on some of your campaigns, you might have 3% click-through rate, 5% click-through rate, 7% click-through rate. That's what you're looking for, and that's not really out of the normal or out of the ordinary. You can get that pretty easily. As long as you're launching a good ad, right? You got to spend some time doing this, and the last thing you want to do is launch some Christmas light ads and you only have one campaign. Like as you saw at the beginning, we've got 3 different campaigns over here, and in each campaign we've got 8 ads. So in total, that's about 24 ads that we launched for this client, which means that we're able to split test a bunch of different creative, a bunch of different offers, a bunch of different ad copy, because what we want to do is we want to dial in on whatever is working, right? If this ad copy is working, if this video variation is working, we're going to put more money on it. And you're not going to be able to find those variations if you're only launching one campaign at a time, because what typically happens when people do that is they'll launch it, they'll let it run for, let's say, a week, they won't get any results, and they'll say Facebook doesn't work. Well, to be honest, you're just not doing enough work. You're not prepared with Facebook ads. And if you're not prepared, you might as well just go knock on doors and hang up some yard signs. But that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. Again, I'm just going to end off on, these are all the leads that we've gotten here. And I've fact checked these leads as well. These are estimates sent. My client has closed 3 of these Christmas lights already. And it's just going pretty good. So we've got a bunch of people on the Christmas light installs. And if you want us to set this up for you, there's a link down in the description to book a call with me. You can take a look at some of my case studies, some of my testimonials. I've got a lot of screenshots of the ads we've launched in the past. So just book a call down there. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below, and I'll see you on the next one.